Maurice at NYCC, writer of Deathstroke. First, I have to say I have been a big fan, a really big fan. I'm trying to stay in my seat right now of your writing. Okay, this is some of the best. I'm at a loss for words. Excellent writing. I've been following for years. How's it feel to be on Deathstroke? I mean, that's a top tier character for DC Comics. How do you feel about it?
Well, first, I didn't know it was a top tier character. I knew he was a fairly popular villain. I wasn't even aware he had his own comic book until DC contacted me about writing it. And of course, my first question was, is he black? And they said, no, he's not black. And I went, okay, I'm listening, keep going. You know, because for a long time I was only being offered characters of color. You know, just being offered a character that had nothing to do with my ethnicity, that was appealing to me. And then the whole idea of writing a villain, and I said, well, can I write him the way I want to write him? And they said, well, what do you mean by that? I said, well, you know, there is a tendency that just because the guy's name is on the cover, that they expect that the character is going to act in some way heroic or heroically. And I'm like, I think Deathstroke is kind of a bastard. At least that's how he was in the Teen Titans. I can write him if you let me write him the way Marv used to write him and have him just be like this incredibly terrible person who would do incredibly terrible things, not only to his enemies but to his friends. And they were giddy and they went right along with it. And so here we go.
Now, right there you dropped Marv Wolfman from the Teen Titans run.
Yeah.
It's something else I've always loved about the writing. A lot of guys come on and they don't want to know anything about what happened before. They just want to roll forward.
Yeah.
But your approach has been that it's an all-encompassing of all the literature that's come before, and I think it makes for some really good stories. So, what was your approach and your process with Deathstroke?
Well, I think it's the same as my approach with Panther, where I think it's really wrong for me to come along, and arrogant for me to come along and say that somebody else's writing didn't matter or that their work didn't exist. That's happened to me, and it feels terrible because you've invested a lot of time and effort, and then the next guy comes along and says, you know, it has the character walk out of the shower and go, oh, what a dream that was. So I tried to treat Don McGregor's work with a great deal of respect. We even brought back the Kirby Black Panther and tried to make the Kirby Black Panther work. So all points of view were valid. With Deathstroke, I'm trying to go back to the source. I'm trying to go back to it because I've been out of comics for a long time. So when Maurice Javins, the group editor, when she said Deathstroke, my frame of reference immediately was George Perez and Marv Wolfman. And I said, well, can I write that guy and just take that material and update it for 2016? And they agreed to do that, and that's pretty much how I went forward with it. So there are elements of other writers in it, but my main source is Marv, and then what I'm trying to do is do what I'm calling a composite history, where we are kind of doing a gentle J.J. Abrams approach. Because a lot of what Marv came up with, he came up with over a span of years in terms of the continuity, and we're compressing it a little bit to have some of those events take place concurrently in order to make it more digestible for a new audience.
Since you brought up Black Panther, the Black Panther book with Marvel Knights, which I consider to be the jewel in the crown for that particular series, I was really a big fan of it, so I read some of the backstory that, you thought the book was going to be canceled at any particular second.
Oh, yeah.
And you can see the switches in artists as it was going along. But I think that run from issue 1 to I believe it's about issue 49 is an incredible run. It's almost perfect in itself before you have to make the switches with Casper Cole coming on,
right,
and everything came over there. But what was it like to write that particular series when you got in that groove and you're not worried about sales anymore, you're not worried about the cancellation, you're just rolling off the stories? It was like a real high point for the character.
Yeah. With Panther, every month we just thought we were going to get canceled, and so much so that my editor called me to harass me about turning in issue 13, and I had just assumed the book was canceled issue 12, and I was off doing something else. And he's like, "You're late on issue 13." I said, "There's an issue 13?" So I had no idea. With Deathstroke, sales are very strong. DC is very confident in the book. We're going to be double shipping at least until issue 24, if not beyond. So the challenge with Deathstroke is different. The challenge with Deathstroke is it publishes twice a month, which is panic time all the time. The keep that schedule going, keep the artist in motion, and keep all those pages going. But it also gives me a real opportunity at character development, because the reader doesn't have to wait 30 days to get the next installment. So it's like the character development can progress a lot more quickly through Deathstroke because of this unique publishing plan that DC has come up with. So, there are different stressors, for the different projects. But I think with Deathstroke, it's just a lot easier knowing that I don't have this hatchet over my head, that I know that we're going to be around at least for the first year. We're going to certainly be around through the end of the first year.
So, last question here. Again, really happy for the time. But you start off saying that your first writing and the challenge of being a black writer, and you're a seasoned veteran in the game. You step away from it for a while, and now you're writing Deathstroke. How validating is that?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. I think at any point in the last 8 years, they could have offered me Deathstroke or Green Lantern or Potato Man. I would have taken Potato Man. It wouldn't matter what it was, But I didn't want to be. I didn't want to validate the notion that I am a quote-unquote black writer. I started in the business as a writer. I wrote Green Lantern, Spider-Man, Hawkman, all these characters. You name them, I've written. Wonder Woman. And with somehow over the course of time, I just became this person that we were only going to assign characters of color to. So it's nice to get out of that box, and it's very funny that all of a sudden, everyone, not everyone, but several publishers are going, well, Priest is back, let's offer him something. I'm going, I was never gone, you just didn't offer me anything that I wanted to do. So it's kind of nice to be offered something that I think is a challenge, it's interesting, it's something that I really like to try, and we're hoping for the best for it. We're hoping that the audience sticks with us.
We're enjoying it. We're going to keep reading. Christopher Priest, NYCC, thank you very much for your time.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Oh, man, I'm trying not to hug you. It's been great.